I would agree with Gene. Most of the students that we see can do the work. It's not an issue of that. It's just an issue of motivation and getting the effort that you need from them.
So what would be approximately the maximum number of individuals that you could service at one particular setting?
Oh, well, I'm not sure if I would have a
maximum?
Yeah, an actual number right now. It fluctuates from kid to kid. I think I'm just going to use our English 1 classes to help me out with Jen. On average, we probably have 3 or 4 kids that fail English 1 per semester, somewhere in that vicinity. So I guess I'd say between 3 and 5 maybe might be doing something like that.
You know, when he talks about 60 kids that he might see in a year, there's everything from spending 7 periods a day to 1 period a day there. So remembering that they take 6 or 7 courses times 60 kids, there's not a very big proportion of that that's really with him.
And we really don't. Most of our kids are there for either half a day or a full day. We don't get into the 1 hour thing just because of the distance with that. We haven't developed that. But yeah, there's some kids are there. They don't leave. They're in the flex ed after 11:30. Then they go up to flex ed. Some kids are there in the morning. They come back in the afternoon. Some kids leave our building at 9:55, and they're there for the rest of the day. You know, yeah, there's a lot of overlap there of kids coming in. So he's not sitting there with 60 kids at one time, or even, well, I guess you'd say he had one time he had 30 in 1 hour, which is a lot for him to service. Any questions at all?
Dave, I think you're right. I think that's a real important consideration because, like Gene said, a lot of it's a one-on-one relationship. So I don't think you're looking at more than 6 or 7 at a time because they need some of that attention. You know, for the most part, it's you're floating your own boat when you're working on that stuff. So they see here's my job, so I sit down and I do it. They're doing their own thing, but yet Gene establishes that relationship. The person that Kevin talks about at the high school will need to do that, and the person that we're thinking of at the middle school.
And there will be a lot of communication between Gene and, in this case, Teresa Ewing or your middle school person there too. There's just going to have to be a lot of two-way communication as to how things are going and assistance that Gene can provide to Teresa as she progresses through that first year. There will be bugs to work out. There will be some pitfalls that we run into and discussions that we have to have. But I still think we're moving in the right direction to assist those kids.
Our thought was it had to start sooner than their junior, senior year when some of them were in so much trouble. We just saw it coming, sometimes in junior high, but at least in 9th grade. A lot of times by the end of 9th grade, you knew that some kids were in trouble. It's like you watch it happen, but then you watch them get ready to go to their alternative school. Why not get in the middle of it first? Those freshmen and sophomores that don't drive, what's nice is you can keep them in a lot of their regular classes for as much as you can. So.
Are there a lot of students that just fail one class and take it over the next semester or the next year, and then that's the only time there's an issue with that, or is it something that once you have a student that fails one class, it's just going to snowball into something else? Those end up.
Jen's going to answer.
I don't know if a lot is the right word, but are there students that just fail one class and take it and pass? Yes. I mean, we have some of those, and we also have some on the other end that once they fail one, it's just downhill from there. I think of a couple kids this year that were failing 3 classes, like at midterm, last 3rd quarter or something, and one of them was so low it was just no way. Took them out of that low class, and now they're passing everything. And they got out of that one class that was just their big stressor, and now they're back up and passing everything.
Did you guys have anything else to report?
I think the thing at the middle school we'll be looking to circumvent is the summer school aspect. The proactive piece of that is if we jump in the middle for a kid before now summer school, you know, if we can do that mid-year or somewhere in the middle of the year for that kid, so that hey, let's get this credit recovery started, so that we can be proactive rather than have them come back for summer school for 3 weeks, which you know books out on what that actually does for a student. You know, that's what we want to do, is try to circumvent the summer school and see some success during the school year.
Did you guys have anything else to demonstrate?
I've got a few things, just kind of let you know things that are going on at the middle school and what this time of the year looks like. Teachers are doing their final classroom assessments, obviously, this week because we're done at 2:20 on Friday. So that's kind of what's happening in the classrooms. Teachers are doing their final assessments. We are out at 2:20 Friday. At 1:10 we have an award assembly where we'll be recognizing all of our middle school students who have participated in various things, gotten pride awards because of lack of referrals for the year. We'll do those types of honors to them. Summer school training, we're starting to line things up for staff to get them trained for different things during the summer. Corey, content-oriented reading instruction is one. PBS is another thing that we'll be looking at, Boeing and RASIC. So really those are the types of things that we're going through at the middle school right now. And just because I think the end of the school year is done, we're not winding down quite yet. There's quite a few things that are still going on. So.
Some things in the high school. Today we had our 9th through 11th grade award ceremony in high school gym. We brought down the 9th graders at 8:20, 10th graders at 9:55, and juniors at 12:56, and they were presented with various academic, fine arts, athletic recognition as well. And that went very well this morning and afternoon. A couple other things in the high school. We had the 8th grade transition day last week on Thursday, brought the 8th graders over to tour the building, just to discuss and talk to some of the teachers as we progress through the building, and just kind of talk about what that freshman year is going to look like and kind of set the tone for next year as they walk into the high school. Also, last week we had a bullying harassment survey that was completed on Monday, May 12th. In preparation for, again, the implementation of the Olveus training and the Olveus program for next year. And then on Tuesday, the sophomores took what's called a teen screen, and it's basically looking at-risk behaviors and thoughts and ideas and how they're doing within the confines of their life in general. And those results are taken, and in talking, Jen could probably talk more about this than I can, but it may result in just a discussion with her. It may be some further counseling from a professional organization, something like that. So that was done last week as well. This week, we're preparing for our semester exams Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday in the afternoon, Thursday all day, and Friday in the morning, and then Friday afternoons used for the makeup time. Kids were given their checkout sheets today in preparation for that, and we're talking to them about open campus privileges now and who has them and who doesn't. We have 8 students who, because of too many tardies, if they have more than 3 tardies, they're not allowed open campus, so they'll be with us for the duration of Wednesday through Friday. But we also have segued into that and saying you must be in good standing with your teacher, meaning you must have all your assignments done and things like that. So teachers are turning things that students have overdue. That really gets them moving when all of a sudden they realize open campus isn't going to be given if they don't get their assignments turned in. So that's always a good incentive for them. And you watch the grades jump too sometimes with that. All of a sudden they realize that the 0 on that grade sheet does have an impact on their grade, and just getting that 0 off and getting some points assists them in that. That's about it. The VRIs were completed last week, and so we finished our spring assessments of that, and I know Teresa Ewing tabulated that, and we've got that information, and we'll kind of sit down and look at that probably for the next board meeting. That's the high school.
Jim?
Coming off guard, sorry. The ACT information that you have in your packets. First one, the paragraph on the front, we'll start with that. That's just some data that I pulled off the ACT's website. They have done a lot of number crunching, data analysis to come up with what they call benchmark scores.